what progress you've made, where you are, how you understand the assignment, any of those things.
Okay. Let's see. So this is my outline.
Okay. So let me take a second to read that, okay? In response to the unjust job loss of a dedicated high school drama teacher, I'm taking this opportunity to help him establish and promote a nonprofit theater company. With a focus on empowering youth ages 14 to 18 through weekly group acting sessions and collaborative shows put on for the community. Goal is to create a distinctive and cohesive brand identity. To achieve this, I will begin by researching existing theater company logos and compiling inspirational ideas on a Pinterest board. Design process will involve crafting a memorable logo, business cards, and brand guidelines. With a strategic marketing approach, I will use social media platforms and design eye-catching promotional material for the community to see. Target audience includes past theater students still in high school or transitioning into high school, as well as parents seeking extracurricular opportunities for their children. Ultimate aim is to encourage enrollment in acting classes. The kids that go through this program will not only gain great knowledge about theater and expand their acting skills, but will also be set up for success with life skills that will help them in the real world with future jobs and even small social interactions. Through this project, I hope to honor the impactful legacy of my dedicated teacher, contribute to the growth of theatrical arts in our community. So I think this is a great project to take on. The subject of it, I can tell that you have a passion for it, and
Definitely.
personal interest in it. That's evident for sure. So, but it's also a little bit implied evidence of not indicating or knowing the reasons behind why this is an issue. And it's not an issue just with this particular drama teacher, but unfortunately it's an issue for theater companies all over the country. If you looked at just the number of theater companies that have closed since COVID, it's unbelievable. It's over half. And
Yeah.
and so part of that was a lot of those theater companies were right on the fringe, of keeping the doors open from month to month anyway, but COVID pretty much kind of was the last straw that many, just like many small businesses of every kind, were unable to recover from. But that's not the only reason. There's also a shift. Well, this is my opinion. There's also a shift. What I just got through saying is factual. What I'm now saying is my opinion. And really, a better way to say it is not by giving you my opinion, but instead look for other reasons that have caused theater programs to close. So we're looking broadly at this topic, and we're going to apply our knowledge to help on this very specific, for this very specific teacher and a new program. And so the phrase that I've been using to describe that is think globally, but act locally. So, and you'll easily be able to find a lot of information globally about why theater programs have closed their doors, and we don't have as many of them anymore, in spite of the facts that you said there, how it does help people, whether they want to become professional actors or not, but it also their success with life skills and communication with people and social interactions. Those are very, very truthful facts. But what I hope are learning is that facts alone don't motivate change. So we have to somehow tap into what our target audience is looking for and what will motivate them to support. And So I'm going to give you an example, maybe that it isn't exactly the same thing, but it is an example of I think, a smart campaign that is geared towards helping people support something. So my undergraduate college, the University of Northern Colorado, has reached out several times for me and other graduates and alum to support the the university. And I haven't done so until recently, not because I didn't enjoy my time there or anything like that. I just wasn't motivated to go forward. And their recent campaign involves calling up alumni, or actually first sending out a link. How did that start? Sending out a link, asking if you wanted to, how did they phrase it? I can't remember the exact wording, but it was phrased in a way that with the question of, if you want, we would like to update our information and stories on all our alumni. They phrased it, that was it. They wanted an update. So I clicked the link to update my info. And what that did, it updated address, the normal kinds of things. But it also then went forward to a person who contacted me on the phone and wanted to verify it, but then also said, can we record you to reflect on your time at UNC? And I said, sure. So they recorded me, and with that, with a few questions, and then said how the result of all this was going to be in a in a publication, both online and in print. They wanted a picture, all of those kinds of things. And then at the end of that, it says, so, and I knew this was coming, but it was so, if you'd like to donate to the university, then we will send you these kinds of things. And there's a whole package of stuff, everything from a hoodie from the university to a pen and pencil set and everything in between. There's a whole big box of stuff, and for donation. And I ended up said, I didn't even hesitate. Sure, I'll donate. So, and in the past, I had not been motivated to do it. So somehow that thing of it made me feel like personally I was invested in this thing going forward. It wasn't that my personal involvement with the university was over. It made it seem more individual to me as on that personal level. And so that was a motivating factor. And I think that the people who are doing that campaign really were trying to tap into that very, very thing. And that's what I'm suggesting that we do on almost any time that we're trying to influence an audience to do something, and in particular, to support something out of their goodwill. And I don't think facts alone, like if they had called me up and told me your dollars do this or that, or our programs are in danger of closing the doors on this program or that program, I would have probably, I don't know. And I've heard it before. I've heard it in print, this kind of thing, but it did not motivate me to do anything.
Right.
So I guess I just want to put that out there. And but also come back to this idea of the globally, act locally. So I need information specifically, which I think you already have, but have it relate in this bigger context, the global thing, and then find motivating means to deliver the content that you want to deliver to the audience you want to deliver it to. So maybe my last point on this then is the target audience needs to be in a position to actually do something about it. Mm-hmm. So if my target audience, let me come back to, so your target audience, you said
it's 14 through 18. or high school students, and then students coming from middle school going into high school, or parents looking to put their kids in an extracurricular.
Yeah. So that's a good audience, but it's not the one that's going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the audience that's going to benefit from this program existing. So what we need to do is identify, well, who are the players that we need that that would have a vested interest in making it go forward. As an example that related to the example I just said, maybe it's past students who went through the drama program with
Yeah.
this person, and that those people are now in a position to donate. So they are probably not recent high school grads. They're probably out of college at least. You know, so they have, and they have the means and the interest and the memories of what being in this program did for them. So it might not be exactly as I just worded it, but maybe that will give you some idea of how you can craft that target audience description a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the other thing is, I think you have hit a number of the points that you're supposed to hit, and you told me that you did look at those abstract requirements to try and make that happen. And I think that one of the things that you've done really well, which not everybody is doing, is that you've talked about the design process here. I think to the might even be a little bit too much. But right now, I'm going to say that it's to the right degree because the first use of this abstract is to help you.
Right.
So I'm not going to say let's cut any of what you said in there about the design process right now. But in the final version of the abstract, where we send it in, we might. Okay. So, but let's keep it in there now as a means to help you move forward and keep you on track and all that business because it's in writing. And then as you go forward and discover new things and let's see, find out, let's say for you find out more about who these people are that might really make a difference as donors or supporters, or how's that supporting going to be structured, that kind of stuff. As you find that out and realize, oh, maybe I need to have some of that in the abstract, which right now I know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
And then to hit the 350 word limit, from a practical standpoint, I have to cut some words out that I have right now.
Right.
Okay. So I honestly don't have any big problem with your abstract. I think right now I mean, you don't have a problem writing, you know, a grammatically correct sentence. I think you're okay there. I think you've definitely identified a problem. You've said the design process. Perhaps if I was going to say one thing to concentrate on here a little bit is the thesis. So so let me try to describe it this way. So as an analogy, if I identified a problem that in December and January it gets really cold here. I never thought it got cold in California, but it gets cold here in December and January. Okay, so that's the problem I've identified. Now I need to have a thesis of what to do about it. So I'm going to, I believe that a way to deal with that is I'm going to make sure that I have my warm clothes out of storage ready to wear when it's a cold day. That's my thesis. And then my target audience in this case is my family. How do I know if this is going to be effective? Well, I am I'm not cold. So that's an oversimplification of this, but it does identify specific different things. So in your case here, you've identified the problem, I think, in a specific instance kind of way. I'm suggesting to you that that specific interest is part of a bigger, wider phenomenon. But you have identified the problem nonetheless. The thesis, what you've described is a project in answer to a thesis. So what we have to do is identify a thesis. So if the problem is, let's say, this, if we said it really personal and said this talented and caring theater teacher was let go, then now the thesis is something about how to get it, help him get a new job. On the other hand, I don't think that's what it is here. I think that's just the personal example of it that you're familiar with. I think the problem is better identified as, there's why is there a declining why are there declining theater programs? A number of theater programs. Why is that? That's a problem. Okay, so now I have to have a thesis about what I'm going to, how I think I can change that. Well, I believe that I can change that if I can help the school board understand the benefit that theater programs do for general education. That's my thesis. Don't know if it's true or not. It's my thesis. Okay, so now my project becomes a visual design based project with a target audience of the school board to help them understand the problem. So you don't have to pick the school board.
Right. It's just
but that's an example of what I mean.
Okay. Okay. So I met with him earlier today on Zoom.
Okay.
And we discussed some stuff and I wrote down a bunch of notes and I started working on ideas of a logo. He wants something that's gonna be, this is the name of it. So he's gonna have Intentions Community Theater, and then he's gonna have Intentions Acting Studio. Intentions Community Theater is gonna be the nonprofit, what we're gonna be focusing on. The acting studio is just gonna be side individual one-on-one classes that he's gonna provide. But the community theater is gonna be the group sessions and the performances and all of that stuff. I'm not really loving any of these at all.
Well, let me interrupt you here at this point, okay? So, and I'll start it by this. Do you think that whoever your target audience is that could make a difference is going to be persuaded to now be in support of this by seeing this direction of brand? Does that make sense what I'm asking you?
Yes, and it makes complete sense, and I can't argue yes or no because I'm not in love with it. So I'm leaning more
Well, what
towards
I
no
mean by
because I
this,
don't like it right now.
yeah, it's a beginning sketch
Yeah.
thumbnail ideas. But
I
what
do like the idea of the spotlight.
okay, so that's where I was going. Do you think spotlights, which are arguably a good kind of symbol for theater, but do you think that direction is motivating if our for people to support, if our main reason here is to either a startup theater company or support theater because of its wider benefits to the community? I would argue no. I think it's simply a good representation of theater as we classically think of it. It's people on stage acting out stories. It's not, it doesn't tell me, it doesn't communicate that because they are in front of an audience and acting out stories, that they are learning communication skills, that they are learning about the wider world. And we as an audience are also learning that because it's an artistic interpretation of those things that are around us all the time. You know, the spotlight doesn't tell us that.
I can see it as, I like that it's highlighting the community, and I see the spotlight as I hate the character faces. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's way overused and not a great
Absolutely.
representation.
Yep.
So I think the spotlight is a subtle representation of theater, and it's elegant and simple, and it highlights the community, and it also puts the spotlight on you and highlights you as an individual in the community and what you can do in your community.
I like the way that you described that idea and that interpretation. And you also told me you don't like this version of that interpretation yet, but you told me some things there that I would 100% agree with, and I would say just need to be emphasized more.
Okay.
Okay. And so as you move and are trying to decide, well, why don't I like these or what's missing? I think that's where you take those clues. Take your clues for what direction to go from who's your target audience, what do you want them to do? That's the reason for this brand.
Yeah.
That is different from, let's say he's got a successful, long-standing theater company going in the community. It has plenty of support. Everybody loves it. Everybody sent their kids from their grandkids on down to him. They see the benefit of it already. If you were doing a new brand for him there, in that instance, completely different reason for what needs to that brand to capture. In this case, it's I think we could go all the way towards it's a promotional thing. You know, we're trying to promote this startup, and we need to promote it because not because of the traditional stage kind of things, but promote it because of the benefits that it provides in the wider world. And yeah. And now, can we end up using a spotlight? Very possibly, yeah. But I think that it's a hierarchy thing. It's you know, and I think the way that you told me um, what you liked about the spotlight on highlighting community and the word community and that kind of thing, that is going in, I believe, the right direction. I don't think it's the most effective one yet. And I agree with you. It's why you don't necessarily like it yet. But that
Right.
direction, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I think you can also, there's a really, I described a long-standing community theater situation. And here in Stockton, there's one that is exactly that. It's Kudos, Kudos, here in Stockton. It's up, it's on Pacific Avenue, and it's been here forever. And kids and their kids have gone there, and it has that kind of understanding of and respect and everything else. While at the same time, there was another uh, theater company, two other theater companies in town actually that have gone under. Not because they didn't put on great shows, not because the people who weren't really nice. It's just that for whatever reason, their brand didn't communicate this broader thing that we're talking about. And so it was only seen by the community as, um, well, you would go there if you wanted to be an actor or your kid was talented as a on stage, you know, but you know, my kid's into football. Why would he go there? You
Right.
know, and yeah. And So you could look into Kudos, and if you talk to it's a husband and wife that run the place, they would be absolutely easy resources to talk to.
Okay, perfect. It's a good idea. For
Let's
the
see.
marketing materials, I have I want to create I'm doing the logo, business cards, flyers that we're going to put up around the community, and we're going to do a half-page promotional ad that he's going to put in the playbills and the high school shows, because you can pay for an advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put that in the playbills for the musicals. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're looking into possible magazine ads for like the Brentwood 101 magazine, and then the Brentwood Press magazine. And that's what I have so far for the deliverables. And then I wanted to do a branding package.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess what I'm suggesting here is, and he's not going to necessarily know this, so you have to help that understanding of this is an evolutionary process, and the beginning of that evolution has to focus on the promotion um, and aspect that, well, obviously that it has to focus on the benefit to the broader community. That's if to get the support.
Yeah.
It obviously has to come across as good quality theater. That's an obvious. That's a given. But I am also telling you that there are plenty of good
Yeah.
quality programs that have gone under because they have not done what we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I feel really strongly about this one.
I very much feel strongly about this. I'm very excited to do it, and I'm very glad that it's working
Mm-hmm.
out, because this is something I'm very passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did I
This
meet him?
subject is
Was
gonna
he at,
make
sorry, go
You
ahead.
didn't meet him. No. He's like, this is something that will make me probably cry presenting it, because I feel so closely about this. He um he was my high school theater teacher for all 4 years that I was there.
Uh-huh.
My parents, when we moved to Brentwood, I knew absolutely nobody, and we moved the start of my high school, and I hated it, and I like was not having a good time. I wasn't making friends, and he gave me like a community and a safe space to have, and it was definitely, without him and his program, I would have had a horrible high school experience. And he did that for so many students. When I was meeting with him today, he was in a local area when we were on Zoom, and somebody came up to him and was like, "Oh my gosh, we miss you. You did so much for my kid." He gets that all the time, because he truly, truly cares about his students, and he did more than just teach them theater. He helps them navigate life. So,
Yeah. Well, this sounds like a really genuinely good person. I'm glad that you met him. And
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
this
excited to help him through this.
yeah. Well, that's very generous on your part. So yeah, let's make this happen. So
Yay.
um yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
meeting with him again later today.
Okay.
Is there questions that I should be asking him that I'm just forgetting about right now?
I think you should help him see this. Let me do it this way. Can you say back to me what you think I'm trying to emphasize?
Um, Emphasizing the global big picture of theater programs diminishing, and how important they are, and how they're not getting as much attention and they're going under, and you can have a great theater program and a great teacher, but you need to emphasize the importance to the community and what it gives um, to the students going into it and what they get out of it and how it affects the community.
Basically, that's it. And you can draw
Yeah,
upon your own experience the way that you feel about that. You know, you didn't go on to become an actor, but you
right,
certainly gained an awful lot of important things about life from being in acting classes because of his approach to it. That's the part that needs to be emphasized. And I think we can also say there that this evolutionary brand, right now at the beginning, in this era of declining theater programs, we need to get community support quickly for your new program to start off. We wouldn't be having this talk if this was a time when, oh, it's everybody's supporting theater programs and we're going to start one. Well, it's going to get support naturally. We're not in that environment. We are in the opposite. We could say we're even in the worst possible time to try and start up a theater company. So we obviously want it to succeed for a whole bunch of reasons, but the way to up the odds that it will be successful is let's strategically think about who we want to get on our side early. And why do we want them? Well, one of the reasons we want them on our side is so that they will financially support it.
right,
In addition to other kinds of support, but financial support is a big one. And so who are those potential players? And as an example of it, I think it sounds to me like there would probably be a whole bunch of people
yes.
that graduated from his programs in the past that now might be in a position, not hard to convince, but getting the word to them and seeing if they would lend their support.
The issue is trying to figure out how we get the word out to them because in the process of him losing his job, he lost all of his emails and access to his email as a teacher. So
Really?
he, yeah, he has some stuff and he obviously has students' numbers. Um, but I think it's going to be interesting to try to figure out how we get the word out there because I also wanted to put together a social media page for him.
I think a social media page is a good idea. I also think that you start with the numbers that he does have, and in contacting them,
Yeah.
have them try to grow the contact
Right.
list by the people that they know,
Yeah.
that they graduated with, for example,
Yeah.
and having them post on their social media pages, that kind of thing. So it's a ground up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now however, it's probably um, and LinkedIn. I think looking on LinkedIn, he's going to remember a lot of names that uh, but doesn't have the contact information. But looking them up on LinkedIn would be good. But also through any of the like he probably also knows that, oh, so and so is working in LA in this theater group or
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And we had a social media page for our theater club in high school that my sister's now a part of. So
Okay.
we have the people that are connected to that, and still a lot of alumni still follow that page
Oh, there you go.
for
Perfect.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Um, I see your doggy back there.
Yeah. She was coughing earlier.
Oh, she
She's
knew we were talking
company.
about her too.
Yeah.
Um, Um, okay, so um,
My
I don't,
next step.
yeah. So that it's a lot of this research thing first, a little bit more on the abstract. It doesn't have to be something that's finalized now, but it does need to have trying to hit all those points. The target audience and thesis might be the ones that I would try to hit a little bit more right
Okay.
now, and then use that as a way that can push you forward. We talked about some other strategies here with alumni and the theater social media pages and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So then you have kind of a plan. So when you speak with him again later today, you can relay some of this business. So you got to keep in mind that as the brand creator, who are you trying to mainly influence with the brand at this point in time? And it is about gaining support, not like maintaining presence. So over time, that brand can change.
No. Okay. Stop it. Such a pain. Okay.
Is that enough to go on, do you think?
Yes. I think so.
Okay. Well, at some point
Bye.
you have to update me on your trip since you sent me no pictures or anything.
Guess who I saw?
Who did you
You
see?
won't guess who I saw.
Who?
I took a picture with him so I could send it to you. I saw Leo.
Oh, you did?
Yes, he actually rescued us.
Wow.
He he had just gotten back to Como that same week
Yeah.
that me and my friend were gonna go.
I thought you were in
And
Spain.
no, we went to Italy because she's
Oh.
studying in Florence. And then we went to Barcelona for 2 days, but the
Oh, I
rest of the
see.
time we were all over Italy.
Oh, okay.
Um, so we went to Como and we were planning on seeing him, but um, we ended up going to one of Taylor's friend's house because he was there. And then Como transportation is horrible, so we ended up getting stuck at the friend's house because there was nobody to pick us up late at night. And
Uh-huh.
I called Leo and I was like, I know you're home. Do you think you can pick us up? No. He came to our rescue and drove all the way across the lake to come get us. And then he took us to a really cool local bar and showed us George Clooney's house, and it was cool.
Uh-huh.
He told me to tell you to, he said hi.
Oh, well, that's nice to know. Yeah. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to save that for another time, okay? Because
Sounds good.
you need to get healthy, and I know you're still going to speak. Oh, you didn't tell me what is your theater teacher's name?
Chris Fallows.
Chris. Okay. All right. So I know you need to speak with him yet today, and you've got to get your energy and your health back up to snuff. So I'm going to let you go right now, unless there's something else that you're curious about.
I don't think so. If there is, I'll text you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So assuming there's no COVID, um, I mean, I suppose Wednesday's a possibility, huh?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
let you know what it says today.
Okay. All right.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Good to have you back, at least over here on this side of the pond. And
Yes.
yeah, and we'll talk later, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.